I'm Paulie. I sing for Sons of Erebus from Adelaide. They're a blackened death groove band. It's a bit niche, but I love it. The EP's just dropped. It's the first thing we've been working on this for about a year now, and it's called Drenched In Plague. It's going to be awesome, man. I love it.
Fantastic, Paulie. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries.
So, as you say, man, Sons of Erebus released your debut EP, Drenched in Plague, last week. So, I know it hasn't been long, but how's the early reception been?
Yeah, pretty good so far. I've had good feedback and a lot of good compliments, a lot of messages. All positive so far, man. Good
Okay.
stuff. And the songs are familiar with the fans. Like we've been playing them for a while and trying to bust out finishing the CD. So yeah,
Right.
it's had a good reception.
Well, can you dive into it a bit deeper from a musical point of view and tell us what you were going for with it?
Um, oh, I mean, it started off as a bit more of a black metal thing, like with me and Ethan, and then it's kind of evolved. Me dipping my style into it. I come from a bit more of a groove background, and then we've tried to make that kind of sound, that bit darker sound, a bit more accessible, I guess, by like taking some of the intensity out of it.
Yeah, cool. So, as a band in the modern age, mate, like, what sorts of things do you discuss going into your first release? Do you plan things out, or do you just throw it all out there, your best, and see what sticks? Or
Uh I mean, we've got more songs ready to drop. We're going to start recording again in a couple of weeks. So yeah, it's like it at the time of deciding what was going to go on, it was like, all right, these are the songs that the people know. I mean, a couple of them have got t-shirt runs, like they've been like well received by the fans. So the ones that we've already got merch runs for, and that we thought we've got to drop them on the album. There's a couple that have got always got good reception, so we were like, nah. It's got to be these four tracks. Otherwise, we're just going to end up blowing out into being like
yeah.
15, like, two discs, all this.
Now, Sons of Erebus formed back in 2021, so this is your first EP or album in 4 years as a band. Like, was that something that you planned to take so long, or did it just happen that way?
No, I think originally it started as a bit more of a financial thing, and then we had to replace the drummer early on. We encountered some hurdles with that, and then finding an extra, and then finding another guitarist, going through that decision whether we needed one or not, and then once we had all the members together, we started writing new songs, and then that put the CD further back, and then. But yeah, we once we decided what we were getting done, and we just said, nah, it's booked in, it's done, finish it, get it, and then the mix master became a bit harder too because then we started like working in competition with guys that had tighter deadlines than us, like Freedom
Yeah.
of Fear and Headball and stuff like that. So we're now working with the same producer and trying to get our stuff finished amongst all that high priority stuff as well. So yeah.
Yeah, true. True. Now, as you say, there is only four tracks on the EP, so I want to run through them one at a time and tell us a bit more about each song from a musical point of view and then what they're about. So we'll start with Bridge of Corpses.
Yep. I guess that's a bit more of like the first time I listened to it, Ethan ran the idea. He's our guitarist. He ran the idea past me. He's like, I want to call this song this, and this is the idea I have for it. And I just went off on my own tangent just from the words "Bridge of Corpses." It started like having all these like King Diamond, Merciful Fate storylines run through my head of cannibals and black magic and things like that. So yeah, it became one of those stories, and then the sound behind it is a bit more like I don't know. A lot of people always hear that one of these there's this Megadeth riff, which is like always people always say, oh, that song, that Bridge of Corpses sounds like that, and I go, well, it's not supposed to sound like that. It just come out like yeah, it's got that like underlying like 90s groove, and then it just kicks into this like bam little punchy like intensity, like fucking bang, 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 and then yeah, pardon my language, and
That's
then
right, mate. Your interview, you can swear as much as you like.
sweet, and then yeah, so yeah, I would call that kind of like that's it. That where the influence draws from. I guess that early like late 80s, early 90s, like real early like occult power metal, black metal stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Then we move on to Horrific Penetration, which I can only imagine the film clip for.
Ah, I think the title itself's got a lot of imagination behind it. Like so Russ, our other guitarist, him and I used to be in a band back in the day, and the drummer from that band sadly took his own life a few many years ago, and they were in a band long time ago, and that was the name of their band, Horrific
Okay.
Penetration. And then the once we had the music down, the lyrics interpreted for me came something different from that. Like when I listened to those words, I was like, oh, there's a bit of a, I guess it's a horrible plague happening in the online media with grooming and underage and trafficking and all the things that are happening in the planet. So that's where the passion for that song for me comes from. It's a real like there's a lot of victim impact and the shitty idea behind a lot of those people's crappy psychologies.
Yeah, cool. Okay, then we've got Armageddon.
Ah, the end of the world. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love?
Apparently.
Who doesn't? I mean, it's what we live in. Who doesn't love the story of the religion? I mean, this story for me really deals from the Omen, like that trilogy. The
Okay, yeah.
movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a lot of the subject matter from that from this. It's more of a I'd say it's probably more black metal crossed with like really really old heavy stuff like kind of that doomy Black Sabbath kind of sound crossed with like the early black metal sound,
Yeah.
the actual noise of it, but the subject matter is definitely related to those like to that, especially the second Omen movie where they talk about the whore of Babylon and the coming of the Antichrist and all that.
Yeah.
So, and I went to a lovely pub, private Christian school. So I know all about that stuff. I got educated on it. So
You're well versed on
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Nice. And then the last one on the EP is Children of the Unholy.
Yeah, this is where when someone says to me, "I want to do black metal," this is what I think of. I go, "Oh, that's it's so basically like anti-religious and like contradictory religious." It's just like for me, it's just like, oh, that's where that's the first kind of black metal I ever heard. So like
Yeah.
that's where I got that from. And it's just black and thrash. It's just speed and nastiness and Satan,
What more could you want for any
Yeah,
music?
exactly.
Now you touched on this before, mate, but you had so much fun making this EP that you've already looked at booking time to record the full
Yep.
length. So is
Yeah.
that stuff going to be similar to what's on Drenched in Plague, or was that just like laying the platform?
I think that's more laying the platform with our sounds. The songs change. Like all the songs, like I mean, there's more black metal-y songs, there's more groovy songs, there's more of death metal songs. Like there's probably a bit more like I would say um can't think of the distinction between each, like rather than them all trying to like merge in
Yeah,
together
yeah,
more so like in this one. But yeah, I would say that distinctively, like you could hear the sound. Like this is like because there's stuff that is influenced by Dying Fetus, and there's stuff that is influenced by like uh, Immortal, and there's stuff that's influenced by Pantera. So it's a bit
yeah.
like trying to keep those things in their own lanes in respectively
Nice.
as well.
What is you looking at about? What, next year sometime for that, you reckon? Or
Hopefully early. Hopefully it doesn't take flipping
4 years?
4 years like this did. Yes, yes. I think it'll be early. I think I'm hoping for somewhere between now and the middle of next year. That's really the hope. That's
Nice.
that's what I would plan on. And like I know a couple of other guys might say, "What did you fucking say that for?" But
It's out
like,
there
yeah,
now, too late.
that's how it is. That's what you get to do when you're a singer. You get to say things.
You
You
take
hold
the interview,
microphone.
mate. You can say what you
Yeah,
want, and the rest you got to
yeah,
keep.
that's right.
Now you got a show coming up later this year supporting US thrash metal outfit Vector. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, that was we heard they were touring. The production company, I don't know how the promotion company got. They fell into their laps, as far as I know, for wanting to add an Adelaide show. There was just the availability and the dates and Halloween. Who doesn't love that? I'm stoked. I haven't done an international support since the Ripper, I think, in 2013.
Yeah, right.
That was with my other band, the Murder Crows.
Yeah, cool. And about any other shows? You got any other shows coming up people can catch yet?
We've got a show in Melbourne at the Boogeyman Bar. Well, that's Abbotsford, which is, Melbourne. It's
Quite fun.
That's at the Boogeyman Bar. It's with Rautism for Name's birthday, so it's going to be a killer show. And I'm pretty sure Terrorential and Distorter are playing. I reckon that's the lineup. And Sons of Erebus, of course. But yeah,
Awesome.
it'll be our second time in Melbourne, and countless times away now. I love it. It's good, and
When,
I like Melbourne.
yeah, when's
And
that
then
coming up? What date's that?
that's October 4th.
Yep.
And then there's the Halloween show with Vector at the Woodshed. That's in Adelaide, or it's in Royal Park in South Australia. And I think there might be a possibility of another show being announced that I have not allowed to announce, but
All right. No.
there could be something else. More.
All right. I won't push you on that one. But where can people keep up to date with the band and find out themselves what's going on?
Well, we've got all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Sons of Erebus. Everything can be found off the link tree / Sons of Erebus. So there's link tree. There's link tr.ee / Sons of Erebus. You will find everything there. We have got a newest album can be played straight out of there. All of our YouTube channel, everything. A
Sweet.
lot.
Fantastic, bro. Well, best of luck with everything, mate. If you never make it up to Brisbane, let us know and we'll come down. We'll have a beer.
Definitely, man. I would love that. Been a great dude. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.